Hello, dear students. This is episode 1 on Romeo and Juliet. However, I posted a few episodes on the same topic, but I call it a 1 because we are beginning once again. This is also a way of repetition, but I would like you to really follow this video. And this will be more comprehensive. And I'm really going to cover more things in this particular video. So in your syllabus, the first chapter is Romeo and Juliet. It does not mean that the entire play is given to you, but two parts of soliloquies are given to you. One by Romeo and another by Juliet. Before we begin, I would like to really ask you, have you heard of any legendary classical love stories? You might have heard of Laila Majnu, Salim Anarkali, Jodha Akbar, Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell, Romeo and Juliet. So in what way these stories usually end? And why? If you look at these stories I mentioned, these usually end in tragedy, or these ended in tragedy. Why is it so? Take Salim and Anarkali for example. Salim, the son of Akbar, fell in love with the courtesan, a woman who is a dancer in the palace, Anarkali. But Akbar did not really approve of it. How could a prince, a to-be king, to have a relationship or fall in love with a courtesan, a woman who is after all a dancer in the palace? He did not like it. He told Salim to forget her, but Salim could not really forget her. He insisted him to forget very firmly, but really what happened, you know? Salim called for a war. He called for a war against his own father for the same reason. But what happened? Mighty Akbar's soldiers, troop defeated him. He was imprisoned. Even Anarkali was imprisoned. And they were totally separated. They could not really meet each other in future. That's how it ends. There it is the dynasty. It is the kingdom or this kind of a thing that really separated these two. You take for example Laila and Majnu, and it again ends in tragedy. Likewise, most of the classical legendary love stories end in tragedy. The reason being the dignity, the reason being richness, rich and poor, reason being religion, caste. Many other things may come between these two people. They are not united because of those reasons. In Romeo and Juliet too, it is animosity. It is rivalry between these two families that did not allow these two people to be united. And this rivalry made these people lose their lives. Not sacrifice, but lose their lives. So let me see, before we begin to read the verses given to you, it is important to really know a little bit or more about Romeo and Juliet. Dear students, everybody talks about Romeo and Juliet, though they know nothing about them fully. Most of the people know that Romeo and Juliet were lovers, and most of the people even don't know that they sacrificed their life or they died at the end. Romeo and Juliet, though is a tragedy, is not like other Shakespearean tragedies. Unlike Macbeth, King Lear, Julius Caesar, Othello, there are great tragedies written by William Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet doesn't really fall in this category, for it deviates from main characteristics of a tragedy. Still, two main characters of the play end in death. This can be called a tragedy. Before we read the verses, let me ask you, do you have a text? I would like you to really follow that text. Though I have it here on the screen, still I would like you to really have a text in your hand that would be more convenient. Before we really begin, a word or two about William Shakespeare, who does not require any introduction, is well known. He's a great playwright who wrote comedies, tragedies, historical plays, more than 37 of them. But he created some timeless characters which are universal in their appeal. Macbeth, Caesar, Othello, Hamlet. Great characters that are still relevant today. Looks very living characters even today, for that matter. Romeo and Juliet too are two such characters. So let us look at the story first. Romeo and Juliet belong to two rival families, Capulet and Montagues. Juliet belonged to Capulet family, Romeo belonged to Montague family. These two are rivals. It happened that Capulet organized a dance party, a ball. BALL ball is not your cricket ball, it is also a party. In this party, or I must say, Romeo attended this party in a disguise, putting a mask, not the COVID-19 mask, but he covered up himself, not to be seen or recognized by any people in the party because he belonged to a rival family. He attended this dance party to see Rosalind, his love actually. But he saw Juliet for the first time here and fell in love with her. Juliet too fell in love with him. Tybalt, Juliet's cousin, had recognized Romeo being in the party and wanted to teach him a lesson, to take a fight with him. But the king, Capulet, did not allow it to happen because he did not want to have any kind of such things in the party, in his kingdom or at the palace. So he was let free, he was let to go. After learning Romeo and Juliet, both of them belong to rival families, these two teenagers continued to love. They could not stop loving. They would not care for anything to come or any consequences to really happen thereafter. It happened that the love between these two grew stronger and stronger. Juliet, with the help of a nurse, pleads the nurse to really get them united, and she says she wanted to marry Juliet. The marriage has been arranged secretly, but These two cannot live together because of the family's animosity, rivalry. Juliet's father, Capulet, the king, came to know all these developments and wanted to marry her to a Count of Paris, which Juliet refused strongly, refuted. But she was forced and made to live within a room of her own. Juliet wanted to escape from this marriage. She takes help from a friar Lawrence, and he helps her. He plans in a particular way that he would give her a potion, a drug, that would really make her fall unconscious for a couple of days. That would make other people believe that she is dead, and she will be taken to the crypt, 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 graveyard. There she can meet Romeo. This is how exactly she did. And she sent a word to Romeo in the street, who was in a fight with somebody, the Tybalt. In a street fight, Romeo kills Tybalt, for which he was banished. Unfortunately, this plan of Friar Lawrence of making Juliet unconscious, make people believe that she is dead and she is taken to the graveyard he could meet there. This plan or this message is not communicated to Romeo at all. Romeo believed that Juliet is dead. She buys poison in one of the shops and goes to graveyard. There he takes again a fight with Paris. But he saw Juliet lying dead there. He takes poison. He dies. He could not believe. He could not live without Juliet. He falls dead beside Juliet at the graveyard. But the moment after he is dead, Juliet came to consciousness and rises, saw Juliet lying dead on the floor, and she stabs herself and dies. This is the tragic story of Romeo and Juliet. Later on, it happens these two families get united, they forget their animosity and all that. Let us come back to the textbook. This particular verse that we have here is taken from Act 1, Scene 5. Let me give you a bit of a background to it. I already mentioned it in the beginning, but sorry, there was a delay. There was a little interruption here. So I was saying that background to this first verse is this. Romeo attended a dance party organized by Capulet in disguise. He saw Juliet there. Having seen her, he fell in love with her. And he expresses his implicit feelings for her in this verse. It's a long soliloquy, but some part of it has been chosen and given to you for the syllabus. Let us see that then. Let me read the text first and analyze or paraphrase it, probably. That may be useful for you. Paraphrasing is more useful at this level. Let me read this. This is by Romeo. Oh, she does teach the torches to burn bright. Oh, she does teach us the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy doe trooping with the crows as and her lady over her fellows shows. The measure done, I will watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear it sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night. Dud means does, which is a archetypal. Ethiopia, an African. Yonder, that comes in the next phase, over there. So let us really have these two words. How she does teach the torches to burn bright. Having seen Juliet on the dance floor, Romeo expresses these things. She shows the torches how to burn bright. She is so beautiful, so bright, that her beauty surpasses the brightness of light. She is outstanding. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night. She hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. She stands out against the darkness. She stands out against the darkness. There is a light on the floor where the people are dancing, and there is darkness around. She stood out. She stands out, in the darkness, like a jewel earring hanging upon the cheeks of the African girl. A glittering jewelry that is so visible or stands out against the dark complexion of an African girl. And she stood out just like that out of all the people. Like it seems she hangs upon the cheek of a night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Ethiop, African girl, a jewelry hanging upon her cheek, stands out in the same manner, with the same brightness, and Juliet is a scene for Romeo. Beauty too rich for use. This is a soliloquy. He speaks to himself. She is so beautiful, too good. Her beauty is too good for this world. She is so beautiful that she is not made to die. He has that kind of a feeling for her. For earth too dear. This beauty is so beautiful. She is more beautiful for this earth. Too beautiful, too dear, that she cannot be buried on earth or underground. So shows a snowy doe trooping with the crows. Rich metaphors, images, similes have been used here, that I am going to discuss these things at the end. Let us not really think about them and spoil the flow of understanding or enjoying these verses. So shows a snowy doe trooping with the crows. Yes, and her lady over her fellows shows. How is she then? Romeo thinks that way. She outshines the other women like a white doe in the middle of crowds. What happens if there is only dove in the company of crows? It sticks out to your eye. It stands out and so visible. And that is the highlight. You forget the rest of the crows over there and you concentrate, or your eyes immediately go on to the dove, which is white. She stood out like that among all the people who were dancing on the floor. When the dance is over, Romeo thinks, the measure done, the dance is over. I will touch her place of, I will touch her hand. I will watch her place of stand. I will watch her place of stand. I will see where she goes and stands after the dance is over. And touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. He feels little inferior for his hands being rough and rude. She's so delicate, such a beautiful lady that she is delicate in the sense. He feels his hands rude to touch her. He feels he will be blessed after touching her. He asks himself, did my heart, did my heart love anyone before this moment? No. If he says yes, then it would be a lie. His eyes must be liars, for swear it sight. His eyes must be liars. If he says he had seen, if he said he had seen any beautiful lady other than Juliet, more beautiful lady than Juliet before. For I never saw true beauty till that night. He says, you have never seen, I never saw true beauty. Before that night, after seeing Juliet, he would have these feelings. He expresses these feelings. This is what is happening in him. And he is unable to hide or conceal or hush his feelings, is expressing, overpowering. These feelings are coming out spontaneously. Powerful feelings are coming out, and he is expressing in this particular way, in this soliloquy. So this is from the point of view of Rome. What we have in the next verse is the point of view of Juliet, that we will see in our next class. Until then, bye.